Really? Third time's a charm. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this month's Board of Education meeting to order. I would also like to thank those that are present here today and those of you that are watching on TV for giving your time to us. At this time, we will call for a moment of silence by Betsy Flanagan.
Madam Chair, would you like me to do the pledge first or the moment first?
Okay, whichever you suggest is fine with me.
We'll just follow the agenda and do the Pledge of Allegiance first.
Okay.
Y'all stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now I'll lead us in a moment of silence. Father, thank you for this opportunity to come together as a Board of Education. Lord, I pray that you will guide us tonight, make sure all of our actions are pleasing to you and pleasing to the purpose that we are here. Please help us so that you are our focus in all of our thoughts, our words, and our actions, so that we can do your work. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Flanagan. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Madam Chair, motion
Okay.
that we approve the agenda as is listed.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Moore and seconded by Ms. Daugherty that we approve the agenda as presented. And for all those that approve of that, raise your right hands. All opposes?
You
Okay.
can vote if you want to, Terry. As long as I got 2 votes.
Okay, it's been approved. Okay, our first item on the agenda is Spotlight on Teaching and Learning. And we would like to ask Dr. Travis Lewis to come up and share all the great news that we have in our Pitt County
There is a lot of
schools.
great
We are
news.
excited.
You all saw all the kids in the bus.
We
that's
did,
going
we
on
could
the
barely
hallway.
get in here, but
Got
that's
a lot of
great.
things we need to be recognizing tonight. We're very appreciative to have such wonderful kids in our school system. And so we want to start off by recognizing the students who are winners in the Science Olympiad. We're going to have Fritz Robinette come up with some of the winners.
Yes.
Right around.
Come on.
Circle around. We could probably bring varsity in as well.
Kids up here.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Even isn't that something? I just love to see kids like that.
You can stay right behind the school board members. We'll have
We won't eat you.
Try to get pictures back here.
You gonna be
Look at that, look at that shirt. She's rocking. Hoagies, the Hoagies. All the Hoagies.
I thought you were
She wore that just for you.
That's okay.
The kids ended up right there anyway.
That's JV Perry. Just JV right now. Okay. So thank you all for making time for us today. I told the groups that are being celebrated behind us, I only have about 45 minutes of remarks and then I'm going to try and do this quickly, but this is something I'm super passionate about, so I do want to communicate all the hard work that folks around the district have done in relationship to Science Olympiad over the last few years. So as some of you may or may not know, Science Olympiad is what's called North Carolina's premier STEM competition. There are lots of science-related competitions out there. This is probably one that's supported by the state and been around for the longest. It elevates academic learning to the level of athletics, where you get that kind of excitement and energy around the competition day. It consists of 19 science and engineering events that take place over the course of 3 class periods, you would call them. And there's kind of 3 categories of events. We have testing and station events where the kids kind of work in pairs and go around and do kind of lab practical stations. There's an on-site performance type of events where kids do things that they have to kind of do on demand. They just prepared ahead of time, but the specifics they kind of learn that day and they have to perform. One of those events is called Describe It, Build It. And another one was Work It Out this year, where they did a little exercise and then answered a science question, then more exercise, and then answered a science question. And then we have the big kind of spectator events, like the 3-2-1 blast off, where we launch water bottle rockets in the air, and Bridge-A-Roni, where we make bridges out of spaghetti and then break them in front of everybody, how much weight they can hold. So a lot of exciting events and a lot of great support over the last few years as this event has built bigger and bigger, as you can see, just with the JV parents interested coming here tonight from one team. We have 18 students that compete on a team. Wintergreen had a lot of student interest this year, so they formed both a varsity and a junior varsity team, which is something any school is welcome to do. This started out here in Pitt County about 6 years ago with Heather and Jed Smith, who were teachers over at J.H. Rose High School. They kind of took this upon themselves to start this event for elementary kids, seeing that middle school and high school were served here in Pitt County by Science Olympiad competition, but there was a gap in the young kids. So the state developed the Elementary Science Olympiad division a number of years ago. Pitt County started a competition 6 years ago with Heather and Jed Smith. There were, I believe, 5 teams competed in that first year, a total of about 55 students. This past year, we had 20 teams register, which is about maximum capacity at J.H. Rose right now. We had 20 teams register. A couple teams had to drop out the week of the competition, but we had 17 teams compete. 10 of those represent, or 11 of those teams represent schools from Pitt County Public Schools. So we had a fantastic showing. We had over 350 students participating this year. And across the state, there were 36 of these elementary competitions that took place. 85 out of the 100 counties in North Carolina held an elementary Division A event this year. 984 teams, something on the order of 18,000 students participating. The largest elementary year in the history of Science Olympiad. So this is only going to get bigger. It's only growing. And then these kids are going to move up to middle school and build the programs at middle school and then on up to high school. So we hope that this kind of lays the foundation for science and STEM work outside of the classroom that has impacts in the classroom. Right here in Pitt County, we gave out medals to the top 4 of those 17 teams that competed, and on the JV, we gave out medals to only the very top scorers because we only had 3 junior varsity teams competing. I just want to kind of read through a couple quotes for some research about Science Olympiad and its impact on both the classroom and the school environment. This is going to be published in a peer-reviewed journal that's coming out this summer. It's not yet ready for publication, but just a couple quotes that give you an idea of the impact this has on schools and teachers. Our students are thinking more about science, talking more about science, and making more intercurricular connections involving science. The energy created by students in Science Olympiad spills over into other classrooms and engages students in science instruction and enhances the school's culture. This may be of particular interest. This year's 5th grade science EOG scores are preliminary, but the results state that 90% of students that have been involved in Science Olympiad in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade score a 4 or better on their EOG. They don't screen for academic ability in that particular district on their teams. They screen for interest, and ability to control your behavior is all they look for. We have students on IEPs, students on behavior plans, and the EOG grading trend I've witnessed over 3 years at my school motivates me to keep coaching even though the demands are great. I think the coaches that are here tonight from Wintergreen Elementary can certainly attest to that. Chris Castro, Allie Mallison, Justin Huber, Karen Furlow, and Rebecca Harrison. That's 5 folks that it takes to run these 2 teams. And that's a village. A lot of these schools have only 1 or 2 coaches that volunteer their time. They don't get paid to do this. They do this because they know this is a valuable event. That's probably enough that you want to hear from me. We're here to celebrate these young people. So let's get to the business at hand. So today's guests, I think, are perfect examples of some of those quotes that you just heard there. In addition to Ayden Elementary School taking 3rd place in the JV competition, we had Pitt County Schools taking 3 of the top 4 places this year. That's a first in my 4 years here working with the competition. Taking home 4th place was Eastern Elementary. 3rd place was won by the Chicago School. And last but certainly not least, Wintergreen Intermediate School took home the championship trophy in both the junior varsity and the varsity divisions. represents a return to competition for Wintergreen Elementary, and I think that we've got a sustainable program here that's going to continue there, and I think bring all comers. Let's see what the rest of the county and public charter schools, homeschool groups can bring, because we've now got the premier team in the region working here. So Wintergreen Junior Varsity, of the kids right here, they placed first place in 13 out of 19 events, so pretty much dominated the junior varsity competition. If they were wearing their medals right now, you wouldn't be able to hear me talk. And when we bring the varsity kids in, we'll talk a little bit about their accomplishments real quick, and I'll talk about the medal numbers. I know you guys have certificates for them, yes.
It is truly my honor and my privilege to be here with all of you, first place winners. I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna talk to your parents for a minute, and then we're gonna get to this, okay? Parents, it wouldn't happen without your support. I know you're proud to be here, but I know that you, I won't say suffered through it, but encouraged them through it and juggled all the things that you have to do and that they have to do that has to go on in your household to get them back home from Science Olympiad, to the practices, the materials, and help explain concepts, and just in general be there to support them. How many of you volunteered to help out with any of the production or the teams or anything? How many of you parents actually help? There's several of you in here. That makes a huge difference when you have parent support, parents willing to go above and beyond. So we're all incredibly proud of your children. We appreciate your engagement. And students, what you have done is truly a first for Pitt County. You bring honor to us all, and we are so excited that you brought home first prize. When I call out your name, if I can shake your hand and hand you this, and you could line up this way, because I think you're going to want a nice picture. He's going to be standing right there, and the parents can come get behind them if you want after we do that. All right. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Quinn Lim for creating excellence in the East. Congratulations. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Harrison Boardman for creating excellence in the East. Is Harrison here? Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Kennedy Bunting for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Natalie Dunnigan for creating excellence in the East. The County Board of Education proudly recognizes Lena Zerfus for creating excellence. The County Board of Education proudly recognizes Bella Cooper for creating excellence. The County Board of Education proudly recognizes Mary Elizabeth Heritage for creating excellence in the East. County Board of Education proudly recognizes Kylie Castro for creating excellence in the East. Just a little bit more that way. The County Board of Education proudly recognizes Brielle Berkowitz for creating excellence in the East. Brielle is not here.
Softball practice.
But we're proud of her. So the County Board of Education proudly recognizes Casey Kohler for creating excellence in the East. Casey's at ball practice too. Go Casey! Tarika? She's not here either. All right. We're also proud of Tarika. Juliet? Yeah. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Juliet Howard for creating excellence in the East. Deja? Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Deja Carlos for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Kenzie Letchworth for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Juliana Holton for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Montana Cook for creating excellence in the East. Griff?
Yes.
Pitt County Board Education proudly recognizes Griff Grimhall for creating excellence in this. Y'all get a nice semicircle through here, so. Right through here. Come slide up here, slide up here, slide up here a little bit.
You want the
Nice,
parents
so you
here?
can see everybody's face.
And you're on TV, so you got There we go, great.
Tip your toes back around.
See those smiles. Congratulations.
Look at all those girls. Thank y'all for having us.
Thank you, Wintergreen JV.
Great science work.
Thank you, Science Olivier. Let's give them another hand.
Okay. We need the coaches to stay.
Yeah.
And next we will
Ms.
have,
Castro, can you stay in for your varsity group for just one more second? Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. I was in your way for pictures, I'm sorry. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks, parents. Where should we sign you up for next year?
But you can say it with a smile. Just vote like me and I'll let you.
I feel like cool air coming in.
You would anyway.
That's not feel the cool air. It's a little toasty in here.
Sure have. Green shirts down there.
I gotta show them how awesome it is. Yeah, keep them in the front and back. Come all the way in, guys. You can do two little lines here. Okay. Here you go, guys. You can come right in here. You do two little rows here. I gotta tell them how great you are, and then they'll take your picture. Certificate, okay? Can your other coaches, can they be in here?
Parents.
Awesome. Yeah, don't make faces behind my back. No photo bombs. Okay. All right. Thank you, board, again. As you can see, this is the varsity team, a little bit taller behind me. These are comprised mostly of fifth graders, and I think it's wonderful for a program to kind of build like that, having a JV team to kind of cycle in next year and then bring in some new third graders. That's how you build a sustainable program like this. So I think the coaches have been really smart and purposeful, and the support of the administration was a big help to them this year as well. So let's talk a little bit about the awards. These folks, I mean, there would be really a lot of noise dangling here. The varsity they were competing against a larger number of teams. Kids that took home first, second, third, or fourth place medals were recognized at the award ceremony out of the 14 teams. So in this group, we had 7 out of 19 events that were first place medalists here, 5 second place medals, and a total of, out of all 19 events, 14 of the 19 events that these folks had a medal in, which is outstanding. Yeah, and you could hear them as they were coming down to get their awards, as medals clanging and clacking everywhere. So you could tell the multiple award winners as well. They were very happy. And overall first place they took, and they're scored based on like kind of a reverse scoring. So first place in an event, you get 1 point. If you get second place, you get 2 points. So this team, I think, out of 19 events had I think it was 29 points or something like that. Some sort of very extremely low number because of the number of first and second place finishes they had. So it was kind of a pretty good separation between the top 2 teams and the rest of the field, and Wintergreen really stood out. So without further ado, we'll celebrate these individuals and get you on to your next celebration. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you guys for all your hard work.
We're so proud of you guys. I'm going to present each of you with a certificate in just a moment, but I just want to say a word to the parents. The coaches, of course, at the school, were instrumental in making this happen, and we would like to recognize the coaches and then the parents. You also played a very key role in supporting them, making sure they were at practice and that they understood what they were working on, and if you didn't understand it, you would figure out how to help them understand it. I'm sure some of you helped with some of the events and snacks. Can you raise your hand if anybody helped at all?
They all did.
They all did, okay. So it's so important to encourage your children and keep them engaged in things that are hard, things that are challenging, because guess what? They're up to it. They proved it, y'all. I was there that day. I saw some of you there. It was so exciting, and everybody was exhausted by the end of the day. It was incredible. So I just can't tell you how proud we are here in Pitt County that your students and your families have brought home first place in Science Olympiad for the first time ever. So without further ado, I will recognize the students. If y'all can just, when I say your name, come up, I'll shake your hand, and then move over there so we can get a nice little arc for our cameraman. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Eliana, she told me, Tabascos, for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Melanie Thompson for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Gia Lee for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Ji-Woo Lee for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Cassidy Jagde? Jade, what?
Jade.
Jade, okay, there's an extra G in there, for creating excellence in the East. Congratulations. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Shunan Lee for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Will Malpas for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Camila Vargas for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Josie Motzinger for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Abraham Ahmad for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Stephanie Birkanu for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes J.T. Anderson.
Oh, not here.
Okay, let's clap for him. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Yassine Sheikh for creating excellence. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Elise White for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Brooke Bundy for creating. Oh shoot. Steven, are you Steven?
Not Ariana.
Betsy?
Yeah.
There we go.
And you're facing gentleman in the blue coat to take your picture. Tall in the back. If you're taller, get on the back.
See, they are smart. They did that quick.
Yep.
Is the captain gonna be with them? The team is captain.
All right, so the coaches, if I could have the coaches. Coaches?
The coaches.
She's not here. Is Justin's here?
Justin's here.
Karen? Okay. Justin, Christina. Allison. Yes. And Ariana? Okay. So, parents, if y'all would like to give your coaches one more big round of applause. And what do you have for that? I'd like to congratulate you, Allison Mallison, for creating excellence in the East. We're so proud of you. Education, proudly recognizes Christina Castro for creating excellence in the
She's our mascot.
The County Board of Education proudly recognizes Justin Hoover for creating excellence.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all so much for your time. If you ever have Science Olympiad questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer.
Okay, next we will have the PAMPAC Math competition results. Tim DeGreasy, and this is for Betsy, and Anna Barrett will be presenting.
Good evening. Just want to introduce both Creekside and A.G. Cox is our PAMPAC winners in the math competition. It's a regional competition hosted over 150 students this year, and so this was the first year A.G. Cox had gone, and it's the fourth year that Creekside has gone, and you might as well keep going if you're going to win every year you go. So Creekside has successfully defended their title 4 years in a row, so we're very proud of them that they continue to bring the math excellence, even though they have different students competing every year. So. You can come after Creekside. So yeah, I just want to congratulate all the winners for Creekside. You're going to bring this. Are you guys competing in Math Masters?
Yes.
Okay, so bring that competitive fire to Math Masters. So I want to congratulate you all for winning for the fourth year in a row. So I'm going to turn it over to Betsy. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So boys and girls, thank you so much for your excellent performance at the math competition. And I will tell you what my parents told me a long time ago, and I think it's the best advice I've ever been given. You need to know your math. If you don't know your math, someone is going to eat your lunch someday. So, and that is the truth. So, congratulations to you. So, I'm going to hand out these certificates, I guess, first to our coach. That must be you, Ms. Blanchard.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations on being recognized for creating excellence in the East.
Thank you.
And then if you guys want to call your name and give your certificate, if you want to line up next to Mr. Blanchard, and then we'll take a picture. So the Board of Education proudly recognizes Isabella Sons for creating excellence in the East. The Board of Education proudly recognizes Josh Gore for creating excellence in the East. That'll get you a long way. The Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Stephen Sheeran for creating excellence in the East. The Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Christina Potter for creating excellence in the East. No, Christina. Okay. You have to show up to get applause on my watch. The Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Vivi Smith for creating excellence in the East. Pranav Mitra. Okay, the Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Pranav Mitra for creating excellence in the East. The Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Daniel Hinkle for creating excellence in the East. The Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Elena Sheeran for creating excellence in the East. The Board of Education proudly recognizes Jackson Aragata for creating excellence in English.
Yeah, he needs to come over here. They're already lined up for him.
You gonna get a picture with them, Betsy?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just hang out.
Yeah.
Get an early seat.
Okay, next we will have the North Pitt High School girls. Where'd you go? I don't see it.
Math competition.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not yet, not yet. I'm sorry. The Pam Pack math competition results, Tim DeCreasy.
All right, so we had Creekside, now we're gonna bring in A.G. Cox. And so, yeah, you can stand over there. So we're equally thrilled with their success in the competition. All the teams you've seen so far have been coached by the school's AIG teachers, so I'm very proud of the efforts they put into that. So that is also the case here, so I'll turn it over. Do you want to say anything?
Sure.
No.
Good evening. Thank you so much for inviting us here. This is the second year at A.G. Cox that we've had a math club, and we've expanded our competitions this year. Our students were so awesome, and this is only a fraction of them. We participated in Math Olympiad, which is a monthly competition that we did each month at our school. We had some students who participated in the ECU math competition who are here with us tonight. We participated in the Math Counts competition for the first time in a very long time as a school. And we participated in PAMPAC. Our students performed extremely well. We're super proud of them, and we're going to have a little celebration next month, which is exciting. So I'm very proud of them, and we thank you very much for inviting us here today.
I am so proud of all of you guys, and I don't have words of wisdom quite as profound as what Ms. Flanagan shared earlier, but I will just say that, as middle schoolers who are preparing to go to high school, there are going to be more and more things that are going to compete for your time as you go. There's sports, there are other clubs. But I would encourage you to keep working on your math, the science, and things like that that are going to help continue to grow your brain and prepare you for what lies ahead. So I'm super proud of you guys. So you're going to each get a certificate when I call your name, if you'll come over. And the certificate reads, the Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Jolynn Yang for creating excellence in the East. Okay? Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Emily Grubbs. Board of Education proudly recognizes Kaylee Grubbs for creating excellence in the East. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Ben Ariagata for creating excellence. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Caleb Sproul for creating excellence in the East. County Board of Education proudly recognizes Elliot Williams. Good job, Elliot. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Steer Mitra for creating excellence in the East. Tyler McCarran is not here. So thank you guys, thank you Coach for putting in the time. I know there are many, many things you could do with your time. So
Well, this is awesome. I love
it
it.
is awesome, but you guys need to say thank you as often as possible to your coach and to your parents for making all these opportunities possible for you. So I think
Can we get you
Mr.
guys
Lewis
to line
wants
up
to
right
get
here?
you over there.
Great. I'll take your photo.
Okay, go ahead.
Congratulations.
Okay. Okay, next we will have North Pitt High School girls basketball team, state champions. Ron Becker, Mary Beth Williams.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Good evening, board members. In athletics, when we recognize excellence, we recognize it only when it's a state champion. And we've got the privilege here to recognize the girls' team from North Pitt, who's won their second state championship in the last 3 years. As a final in a little history, in 47 years, North Pitt has won 4 team state championships.
Wow.
All 4 were women's teams. 3 of them were girls basketball. The first year they opened up the school, and then they won softball in 2006, and then 2 out of the last 3 years, these girls have achieved excellence at its highest. So I'm going to turn this over to Coach William Knight and Coach Lauren Wasilick, and let them say a few words and help introduce the team. Coach Knight?
All right. Good evening, you all. Thank you all for giving us this opportunity and acknowledging us for our state championship. First of all, let me get this out the way. I'd like to thank, first of all, the administration for all their support that they've given us this year at North Pitt High School. Mr. Harris, Mr. Joyner, Miss Avery, and Miss Miller. They've been a fantastic group and backed us all the way. And plus our AD, Matt Goddard. I know I get on his nerves a lot, and he's always telling me, in fact, when he sees me come, he turns and go the other way. But we had a great season this year. A lot of people didn't expect us to get this far, but I can't say enough about these young ladies here. We came together as a team, as a family. We had each other's back. Even though they say I get on their nerves, but they don't realize I have a special power. I get a chance, I can read the bubble, like a cartoon. And if you could have seen some of the bubbles that some of these guys had during the season about me, it would have been something else. But again, we thank you all for inviting us here today and giving us this time. And right now I'm going to turn it over to Coach Lauren Wasilick.
I'm just here to introduce you to everyone. We have Tamia, and to represent Coach Hines. Coach Hines and I were the assistant coaches, and he couldn't be here tonight. But we have Tamia Frizzell, Gracie Meeks, Tiana Parrish, Alyssa Kern, Brianna Kern, Kiki Crawford, Jakiria Willis, Nigenique Langley, Tiana William, Ashanti Hines, and Ashanti Wilson. Oh. And trainer Michelle Sanders, who kept us healthy all season. So we thank her.
And also, let me thank the county, Pitt County, for all you guys' support, been behind us 110%. And we hopefully will be back up here again next year doing the same thing. Correct, girls?
That's it.
And, all right, but thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, this is us. North of the river. We are what?
The champions.
North of the river. And Panther what? Nation. That's right. I am so proud of the work that these young ladies have done. They are the most humble group of young ladies that have won an accolade such as this. And it comes from their coaching and their families. I came in on the tail end of stuff when they were winning everything, and I've had an opportunity to eat dinner with them once, and I saw them play in the championship, my husband and I, in Chapel Hill, and they were still full of a sense of pride and dignity, but they had grace with them. And that's what's important. That's the most thing I remember, you know, with them winning the championship. They had a certain amount of respect and grace about them. And that's a lot to be said for our young people for these days. So I could go on and on and on, but I look forward to your rings and all of that stuff. I just got to get myself, you know, updated with everything, and they keep me informed. But I'm so proud of what the administration have done. You, Coach Knight, we had an opportunity to talk. I'm very proud of what you've done, and the lady keeping us healthy, and the assistant coaches and everything. And Ron, we thank you. We thank you for your leadership and getting everything together for us and the girls, coordinated with, you know, all our volunteers. But parents, you have a lot to be proud of. You know, these young ladies are gonna go far, whether it's still in athletics or academics. The world is their oyster. And I learned a quotation when I was in Texas last week. And it said that, it's an African proverb, and I'm not gonna get it right, but I'm gonna give you the gist of it. It said, if we don't invite the youth into the village, they'll burn it down to feel the warmth. You get what I'm saying? And they're already, you understand? They already feel the warmth. You know, they feel that warmth, and I'm so proud of you. So I'm gonna present each and every one of you with a certificate that says the Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Shakira Bryant for creating excellence in the East. She's not here? Okay. Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Shakira Crawford. Okay, Brianna Dillard.
Just move down a
For
little bit.
creating excellence in the East. Brianna Dillard. Okay. Tamir Frizzell for creating excellence in the East. Ashante Hines for creating excellence in the East. Elisa Kearns for Nashanique Langley. Can you say the grandma say hello? Emily Gracie Meeks for creating excellence in the East. And Miss Langley was the MVP. If I make no mistake.
For the second time.
For the second time, she was the MVP, and she just got selected
For the
as
East-West.
East-West All-Star Game. Nikita Newton. Nautical? Okay. Cassandra Watson for creating excellence in the East. Tijuana Williams, excellence in the East. Asia Willis. And we like to present our coaches. Coach William Knight for creating. Dwayne Hines. Okay. Laura Wislett. Miss Brianna Kearns for creating. Okay, sweetie. Okay, I thought you was a student too. Okay. Tiana Parrish for creating excellence in the and Ashanti Watson.
Athletic trainer.
Don't you worry about it. What's your name, baby?
Michelle Sanders.
Michelle Sanders for creating excellence in It was so many, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Scoot up a little bit, I'm gonna come right behind you. I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna get in, let them get one, then you get one. With me, cause I'm gonna have to stand in the back. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to keep it close.
Coach Ballard?
Hang on. My blocking in the back. Okay, all right. Okay.
Are you ready?
Thank you.
Congratulations again to the North Pitt champions.
Coach,
Girls champ.
Coach, how many seniors?
And congratulations. And Coach, I understand you got one with a full ride to North Carolina Central University.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to go JUCO then Central.
Okay,
But yes,
wonderful.
how's it?
She's great.
She's glad to know I saw her.
Says to tell you hi, Coach. She loves you to know that.
Okay, next we have the J.H. Rose High School 300-meter indoor track state champions.
Yeah, finishing up on that ball game, what was great about the state championship game, it was a terrible game because we killed them. We did. You know, but for someone my age, it was fun to watch because at no point in that game, I've never seen a state championship game that I was never nervous. So that was a heck of a game. And as Mary pointed out, I mean, you've got Nigenique. They've won 4 state championships in 47 years. She's the MVP of 2 of them. That's legendary. That's good. All right, now we're going to move on to an individual champion. And before I introduce the coach to say a few things, the athletic director, Coach Kirby Manus, and I were having a discussion and kind of breaking them in about who we recognize. And I said, well, you know, as far as the board, they recognize state champions, whether it's individual or a team. And he says, well, we have a young lady that you'll recognize more than once. And of course, I thought at the time, man, that's a bold statement. But here we are for the first time. So with this, I'm going to let the coach speak. Now, this is a coach I don't know very well. No, just kidding. My first year in high school, I know he looks younger than me, but my first year in high school, he was my teacher, and it wasn't his first year teaching. So, Coach Dennis Gibson.
Oh, my God.
Well, thank you. First of all, I want to say thanks for inviting us down here. It is indeed an honor to be here. As Ron said, I coached him in high school, and since then, I think I was counting up, we had approximately 23 state champions that's come through, but this is the first time we had an opportunity to come down here. And I would really want to thank you for that invitation.
Awesome.
Okay? Championships. Being a state champion, you need to be a winner first. Okay? In order to be a winner, you have to have a lot of work ethic, good positive attitude, putting in extra time, and having a positive, again, work ethic. You have to really put the work in. And then from the winners, you eventually will be able to become a state champion. We have one young lady here that was state champion in the 300 meters open run. And she set a state record this year, 40.61. You got yours up? Yeah, 40.61. That's a new state record. And she's a sophomore. And look for glorious things to come, more state championships to come. She also participated with USA Track and Field and set a national record there, 9:10 and 13:14 in the 200-meter dash. So she's really been working ever since she was, what, 9, 10 years old, correct? Okay. And with no further ado, I'm going to let her come up and say just a few words. Jordan Sales.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely honored to receive this award, and I am sincerely grateful for the recognition I am receiving for my hard work. I have faced several challenges in my life, but each one of them has only strengthened me and make me a better person. Someone who sets their eyes on the goal and doesn't lose sight until it's achieved. Winning this award wouldn't have been possible without the inspiration of my mom and my track mentor, Mr. Reese, for whom I have the deepest respect for. I have the drive and strength to challenge myself and perform at each stage. I also pray to only get better academically and athletically so that you can see me again in the future. Thank you.
Track and field is one of my favorite sports. It gets down to my heart when I see the person starts and when they get to the end and what they do after that. You know, a lot of times they don't just wallow all everywhere. What they think about is my next opponent. Who am I going to try to win next? And I picture you as going on, and looks as though to me you have the right coach here to do that. The Pitt County Board of Education proudly recognizes Jordan Sales for creating excellence in the East, presented on April 16, 2018. So we make sure that Pitt County Schools is in the background. All of that money. If there is any next of kin or coach or mother, father,
Yes.
okay. Well, I'll tell you what you do. We'll move you guys right in back there so you can hold them up. I still want Pitt County Schools in there. Can you step right up there?
Well, I can't see those, so I think you might be front, didn't he?
Yeah, come down that way.
She could have run a little crazy to me.
Y'all gonna make me photobomb, y'all hold that thing good. I do what I track, and I'll photobomb you in a minute.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next we have the North Carolina Works Certified Career Pathways with Beth Ann Trueblood.
Good evening. I'm going to introduce Brandy Bragg, our Northeast North Carolina Career Pathways facilitator, to do our presentation.
Thank you, Beth Ann. Thank you all for allowing us to come. I'm gonna tell y'all, that's a hard act to follow. You guys have really done a great job in Pitt County with these kids. Let me introduce Larry Donnelly, who is the Regional Operations Director for the Northeastern Prosperity Zone. We kind of like tag team this, so I'm gonna let him start.
Good evening. So the NC Works is the state workforce system. Obviously, we have several partners who collaborate and align their resources to help improve the skills gap and help connect students and adults with high-demand careers. The Northeast, for career pathway purposes, is comprised of 20 counties, and that goes from Pitt County to Wilson up to Roanoke Rapids out to the Outer Banks. Within those 20 counties, we have 20-plus public school systems. We have 9 community colleges, 3 universities, 3 workforce development boards, as well as 11 NC Works certified career centers.
We also have 4 pathways that we're working on. We currently have 2 certified. We were the first region in North Carolina to have a certified pathway, and that was healthcare. And then we were the first in North Carolina to have a second certified pathway, which is advanced manufacturing. We're also the first in North Carolina to roll out local implementation, which is what we're here for tonight. Pitt County Schools, along with their partners at Pitt Community College, the partners at Region Q, and also their employer partners, have worked hard to pull together. It's a lot of work. They had to modify pathways for the local, what they offer here locally. They had to work together on work-based learning and career awareness opportunities. And they had to have an adult learner focus, which is sometimes even more difficult. So we're really proud of all of the work that Pitt County Schools has done, particularly Beth Ann, just great partnership and great leadership. So with no further ado, we're gonna present these. I would like to call up Lisa Lassiter to accept the Health Sciences Academy Award. She is with Vidant, but she is also with the Health Sciences Academy.
Thank you very much.
And also Beth Ann Trueblood, CTE Director, and Dr. Linker.
I won't have the photo bar. I'm just gonna put up these two hands right here.
Sure you got it up?
Thank you guys for all your help.
At this time, we will have public expression, and I think some of the public expression persons on the outside, I believe. Should have been in here. Okay, we have with us tonight two people that signed up for public expression. One is Mayana Mabry. She is a D.H. Conley student, and she is president of the SGA, and she is representing that organization tonight. And she has some other students with her.
Yes.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you all so much for allowing me to speak on behalf of D.H. Conley High School Student Council Association this evening. My name is Mayana Mabry, and I am D.H. Conley Student Body President, here today to speak about implementing stricter policies to ensure more safety in all Pitt County schools. I, along with other determined students, have formulated ideas that we would like to see executed in the next few years so that our peers, teachers, younger siblings, and anyone else who attends a school in Pitt County can be safe from gun violence and any other form of domestic terrorism. I understand that you are already discussing this issue right now, and I want to thank you so much for all you do. I also understand that this project isn't going to be cheap, but here are our ideas from the perspectives of students who are currently experiencing the ins and outs of our public school system. First, we believe that an on-staff therapist will be necessary in every school, as this therapist will serve as someone who can help students reflect on their personal issues, encourage them to talk about private matters that are affecting them, and someone who guides you based off of your emotional and behavioral patterns. Second is to have a digital system installed in every school that is used for signing in and signing out. I know most schools have this, but it should be placed in every school. This system should not only store the students' information, but also the parents or guardians, because parents and guardians are important key figures when it comes to signing their children in and out of school. And this is a good idea because virtual records are kept on file for if or when a check-in or check-out occurs. Third on the list is having buzzers outside the main entrances in schools. All doors should be locked, and in order to come inside the building, a buzzer should be pressed to automatically unlock the door. This idea ties in with our fourth option, which is installing metal detectors at central locations. I know my school has at least 2 metal detectors, but it is important that every school in Pitt County has these for the sake of all of our safety. Metal detectors located at the main entrance, the central location, ensures that majority of the people who enter the school aren't bringing in weapons or any other threatening object that will put us in harm's way.
Hi, my name is Riel Zabioski. I'm a sophomore at D.H. Conley. Metal detectors can be monitored by the fifth option, resource officers. and more of them. Schools should have more resource officers. A minimum of 2 should be at every school because being too safe isn't a problem. I am appreciative of the 2 we have at DH Conley, but if we had more officers, then our hallways and campus could be regulated more by them than by our teachers and administrators. Our 6th idea mentioned is to have more lockdown drills throughout the school year, along with having them updated. Too many times we've been taught to sit down against a wall and be quiet, but that does nothing if an active shooter, one who is more than likely a student, knows this plan. We must fight the predator back, and with our next idea, here's how.
Hi, my name is Kennedy Davis. I'm a senior at DH Conley High School and also senior class president. The 7th idea that was just mentioned is basically a personal defense class that will be taught in physical education. This would allow us to protect ourselves more if it was added to the class curriculum. Now, when you first hear that, I know you were thinking of all the lawsuits that could happen with that, or all of the things that could go on with that. But it can be taught on several different ranges, you know, whereas if it's not actually acting on it, then it could just be learning about it, at least to the point where people feel more comfortable and safe in our schools. And also, along with that, since PE and health are 2 curriculums that are required for graduation, this can also provide us a chance to have a mental health class within the health part, just because that is so important in today's society. Mental health is something that, you know, it's growing and it's becoming more of a problem and more prevalent in our society. So since this is a key component of health class, this topic affects us every day. By bringing awareness to this, we are educating the young minds about the adverse effects of mental health. So by updating the health and PE curriculum, students are better prepared for the real world and situations that are informed to protect themselves and those around us. Lastly, our last point is to have student ID pictures taken during the summer, similar to how we take senior pictures now for most high schools. And this would be mailed to us maybe when we get our schedules for the school year. That's the same time that you could do that. The reason why we would do this is because this would give us the opportunity to maybe use those IDs to scan in and out of school, or just provide an easier opportunity to be
5 minutes is in, but finish it. We'll let you finish.
Sorry. Okay. To be identified by the school, because that is a problem, whereas people today may not have a photo on record with the school. So that's something else that we can do. So for that, thank you guys so much, and let's make our school safer together.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think you wanted to leave a copy of that with us. Oh, you're doing that. Great. And we don't respond tonight, but we will definitely take all you said in consideration.
Thank you so
much. And thank you so much, D.H. Conley High School students. Thank you. Okay, and the next person is Lisa and Tierney Reardon. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lisa Reardon, and I have a child who attends J.H. Rose High School. As a parent and community member, I greatly appreciate your efforts to make public education a high priority. I came here again because providing safe schools for our children must take immediate priority. Since the last school board meeting, I have learned that many people are working hard to ensure that our schools are safe, but that there is much to be done. Improvements are slow to happen. Also, J.H. Rose has experienced another threat of violence since I was here. I happened to be in the building when there was an unsubstantiated threat and Rose was put under modified lockdown for more than 2 hours. It was not a good feeling. Thankfully, the principal, the police, and the school staff resolved the incident in a calm and professional manner. Everyone was safe. Being there, however, did raise some concerns. First, that event occurred after I had attended a police community relations meeting on school safety, during which important safety information was shared. Unfortunately, many parents and students never received that information. How can schools best alert us? Students, text 911 and state your location first. Put your phone on mute. Parents, do not call or text your child because the sound could put him or her in danger. Wait for and follow directions given by the school and the police so you don't inadvertently sabotage safety efforts. Next, I became aware of the need for administrators to have clearer and more frequent communication to teachers during a lockdown. At first, the teacher I was with thought it was just a drill, but realized that it wasn't. Most of the information about what was happening we received through student texts regarding information they had received from the outside. Other teachers weren't privy to such texts, and their students had more information than they did. It was difficult to assess which information was accurate. As a parent, I continue to have questions and concerns. For example, another school walkout is being planned for this week. How are the schools involving students, teachers, and parents and using such events as learning opportunities? Are students and parents from all socioeconomic backgrounds being involved in identifying areas of concern and in generating ideas for improving student engagement in learning? Are their voices an integral and ongoing part of addressing issues? Do all students feel that they have an adult at school whom they can trust? What steps can teachers take to create a kinder and more close-knit community in their classrooms? Does phone use play a role? How can we get more instructional assistants in the schools? Which legislators should parents contact to advocate for funds? I've been told there's much to be done. Parents, students, and community members from all walks of life have voiced their concerns about school safety at numerous local meetings and rallies. As I mentioned last time, we want to be involved in more than hope, prayer, and holding our breaths. Let us work with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us tonight, and if you would like to leave a copy for all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. Okay, she's gonna, okay, she has 3 minutes. Okay, thank you. You may start, that's Miss
Tierney.
Tierney. Mhm.
Hello, my name is Tierney Reardon. I'm a student at J.H. Rose High School. So far, I have spoken at the last school board meeting. I asked a question at the police community relations meeting on school safety and was interviewed afterward on television. I went to a scarcely attended school forum for concerned students held by a principal. I attended a Moms Demand Action meeting. However, I still haven't been informed of any changes that have been made to make Rose a safer school. What I have seen is a higher police presence, teachers reminding us to close doors if we leave class, and an alternative to attending the last walkout. The alternative was writing letters in our advisory class instead of going to the gym. I chose to write a letter to the administration in the few minutes we were given. I've had no direct response from this letter, but I have also not been told through a mass email, a phone call, announcement, or letter home what is being done to make Rose safer. Since I was last here, Rose also had a lockdown for over 2 hours. On my way out of school that day, I noticed a parent outside the front doors. She was cursing at the officers and administrators who were staying remarkably calm, screaming for them to hand over her child. This must be a somewhat understandable response to hearing that your child's school is under lockdown, except for the fact that such a reaction has the potential to put the parent and the student inside the school in danger. This is the very reason that I have been told by teachers while in a lockdown not to contact my parents. But are parents being told these same pieces of information? Important safety information was given out at the police community relations meeting, but is not being shared for those with those unable to attend such meetings. Finally, I would like to ask where students can confidentially report any information we might have or give suggestions for improving school safety. Although I recommended forming a school safety group in my letter to administrators at the police community relations meeting and in a local TV news interview, I have received no response from school administrators. Outside of school, we can share our opinions and work for legislative changes, but what about in-school opportunities for students to give our perspectives and work to improve our schools? Are the letters such as the one I wrote being read? 18 gun-related incidents this year is a statistic that is already outdated. What is being done to prevent further safety breaches from happening? Thank you for your time and efforts.
Thank you. Okay, well, I think that's the last of our public expressions. Thank you all for sharing those. We will look at those at a later time. The next item on our agenda is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent
Okay.
items.
All those in favor?
Second.
A second, I'm sorry, second first. All those in favor? Raise your right hand. Okay, the consent agenda is unanimous. Now we'll go into new business. Do I have a motion concerning new business items?
Yeah, Deborah's just gonna give us.
Okay, Deborah?
Oh, okay. I just know that we have two items tonight. We have budget amendment number 2 for the current year for fiscal year 17-18 that we're requesting approval for.
Okay. We discussed that in today's meeting, so could we get a motion to accept, if there are no other questions, any questions on that amendment that we discussed earlier today? If not,
Motion to approve.
okay.
17-18 budget amendment number 2.
Okay, so it's been moved and second that amendment 1 and 2 be approved. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposes? Ayes have it.
Okay, and the second item that we have is the 2018-19 proposed budget, and that does include the change to request the supplements for teachers at 6%.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Madam Chairman, make the motion that we approve.
Second.
The budget amendment, which includes the 6%
Right, the budget
raise for
proposed
teachers.
18, 19.
For 18-19.
18-19, yes.
Okay, a second on that? It's been moved and seconded that we approve the 2018-19 proposed local budget. All in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposes? Okay, ayes have it. Okay. Thank you, Deborah. At this time, we will have closing comments by our superintendent, Dr. Linker. Comments from you.
I'd just like to thank the board for everything they've done. They've had a heck of a day. You figured out where we're going with all of our budgets and our school security issues and school safety issues and showing up as a nice team unity there with the county commissioners. I thought that was, hopefully it's not the last one we have, but it was certainly a very nice function this afternoon. Took a little longer than we had hoped, but it was definitely well worth it. I think we're going to see that it's going to pay off well for the Board of Education and Pitt County Schools. So thank you for all of that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Now we will have comments by the board members. We will start over with Benji this time.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair.
Why did you do that?
First of all, you know, it's been a special day, a very unique and special day for Pitt County Schools. And Dr. Linker, you said you've never seen a combined meeting with the Board of Education and the county commissioners before, since you've been here. And Dr. Linker, I guess I'm the oldest rat in the barn, I haven't either. And that was a tremendous opportunity for us today to work with the county commission. And that's what it's about. It's working together to do those things that we all know are necessary to improve our commitment to our young people in Pitt County. And I thought that everybody expressed that, did a tremendous job with that, and I look forward to seeing the results of our meeting today, Madam Chairman. I think they're going to be positive, and I think they're going to bring renewed support and resources to our schools. So I'm going to leave it at that and say it's been a tremendous day, except for one more thing. I do want to say one more thing. What composure our young people had this evening. It was tremendous composure. You know, one of the hardest things there is to do is public speaking. And I've prepared public speakers before. And it's a skill
that is very, very rare and unique, especially coming from young people. And those young people this evening had tremendous composure, tremendous character, and were not nervous nor scared one bit. So that's another plus to show what our young people are doing and what our teachers and support staff are doing for our students here in Pitt County.
And I guess I'm going to say more of the same. You know, when I got out of my car, I looked up and I saw all of these people in front of the place. And I'm saying thank you to everybody on the board. Thank you to all parents for bringing their kids out tonight to show what their performance over the past year. And like as was said, you know, composure. I don't know whether when I was at that age whether I could do. Well, I knew I couldn't. And it all boils down, and I'm going to keep it short. And I give a shout out to all the teachers because that's where it all comes from. And this is a quote, and I'd like to read it real slow so we can digest it. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love for learning. And I think we're seeing a lot of what this board has started over the past year, and we're seeing some of the outputs of that tonight, and hope we see it continually. Thank you, Dr. Linker, for all you do to lead us. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I think Robert and Benji had said it all. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'll take it. It's been a great day. I do want to thank the county commissioners for being willing to come to the table with us. And I guess I would just encourage the public who maybe can't sleep and are watching this meeting right now, but or later when it replays, to you know, we are here to serve because you elected us to be here. The county commissioners are serving because you elected them to be their legislators, et cetera, et cetera. We need to know what it is that, what's your directive? You know, if school safety is of utmost importance, as I think it is to most people, let us know that, let the commissioners know that, let the legislators know that, because that's sort of what helps us to act and to carry out the will of the people who've put us here. So I know there are hard decisions that have to be made in the coming weeks, because there's never enough money to do everything we want to do, not in our households, not in our school system, not anywhere, frankly. And so, you know, if you have strong feelings about the direction that you want us to go, let us know what that looks like, and then we'll use our discretion to do the best that we can for you.
Okay, Ms. Maribel Williams. I'd like to thank everybody that came out tonight. I'd like to thank the county commissioners for the joint meeting this afternoon. I feel very optimistic about us being prepared to present, you know, what we want, you know, on our list and everything so that we can get some type of relief, you know, and that's very important. I'd like to, you know, congratulate again all of our students and their parents that came out tonight, so that we could, you know, reward those students. I've never seen a bunch of a more articulate, well-rounded, from everyone from the elementary schools all the way up to our high schools today, that presented themselves. They were well-mannered, and that's very important, you know, when you come to an event, you know, such as this, because not everybody gets that opportunity, but to know that what they're learning in Pitt County schools and what we are providing for them as administrators, elected officials, and our teachers, and all the ones that create Pitt County schools, this is what we're doing, and this is what we look like, and that's a very good feeling. That's a very good feeling to know. I do have some issues now, but that's something that's gonna, you know, we're gonna work on, because I'm gonna talk to Dr. Linker, I'm gonna talk to Tim, I'm gonna talk to Mr. Robinette about a couple of things, but I think that, you know, we can get those things resolved. And thank you, Matt, and our leadership team, and Deborah, and Cheryl, and Dr. Council for what they've been doing. You know, we've had a long day today, and we got a lot of accomplished and some good feelings out of it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, Betsy.
Pitt County Schools is the best, in case you didn't know that. Pitt County is the best, in case you haven't noticed. I'm very proud to be sitting up here today because we all work together with our county commissioners today. I'm a parent of kids in Pitt County Schools, and one of the benefits of having so many kids, I feel like I'm the old lady in the shoe, is I get a double dose of a lot of these events. I was at Science Olympiad, and then I get to see it again here tonight, and I can tell you that our students are not only holding their own, but they are leading the pack. And that says a lot about the education that they're receiving in our schools. It says a lot about the teachers that they have in their classrooms. It says a lot about the administrators that are managing the buildings, our Board of Education, our superintendent, his staff. I really feel like we have the best of the best, and even though it's an exhausting day, I'm going to lay my head on the pillar, is what Worth says, tonight. Resting well.
We'll sleep tonight, I promise.
Yeah, I'm sure will. Resting well, because I know that we have got some awesome things going on here today, and I see a lot of teachers up there. In fact, one of the teachers up there sent my son to Charlotte to the state geography bee, and he held his own too. But anyway, I also wanted to give just a special acknowledgement and well wish to our Pitt County robotics teams. They are traveling to Houston this week to the World Finals, which is awesome. It's a great collaboration. It's not one school or another. It's all the schools, all the high schools come together to form two teams. And I know the Boneyard team won the State Engineering Inspiration Award, so that's a fantastic acknowledgement, and both of them performed well enough on their own performance to qualify to go to the Worlds. So I just want to wish them best of luck as well.
Okay, Ms. Linda?
First, I'd like to say thank you to the county commissioners for the meeting we had today. It was just such a unique meeting, and I felt like I really wasn't sure what to expect, and I just felt a warm welcome from them, and I felt like they heard what we had to present, and I really look forward to see what the results are going to be. As far as the meeting tonight, all I can say is wow. I mean, if you can't find something in Pitt County Schools that you want to do, we've had anywhere from sports to academics, to certifications, students from different schools coming here and presenting their ideas, their concerns, and I just applaud everybody here tonight. There's just no excuse to be in school and say there's nothing I can get involved in or do. The one thing that I will admit, last time we were here, I asked everybody to vote for G.R. Whitfield for their video. I still did not write down what the exact words, but they won, so people did vote. And I hope they're going to come. Will they be here? I mean, it was like, what, $10,000?
We had quite a crowd tonight.
Yes. I mean, if you haven't seen the video, I mean, it's great. So there's another example of students in action trying to help their own schools out. So thank you again, and I hope everybody has a great rest of the week.
Fantastic. I'll try to keep it really short tonight. We're going on our 8th hour together today, so I feel like this time we should wear our footies or our pajamas.
Yes.
I'm so pleased to hear about the healthcare and advanced manufacturing pathways that we are leading the state in that. That is an example of truly meaningful engagement, and kudos to our staff. I think Beth Ann has gone. But that is a fantastic accomplishment, and really, really proud of them being able to do that. Loved being with the county commissioners today. I do think we should do it more often. I would love that. I'd actually love to get them around the table, just the commissioners and our leaders, and just have conversations as opposed to have 6 TV stations recording every single word. It'd be really nice to just chat together. But I will say, I was so heartened by the 4 students and parent who came out tonight to give us their thoughts on improving safety in Pitt County schools. That's engagement. That's student engagement. That's parent engagement. And those students are talking about their lives, and that parent's talking about her child. That is serious engagement, and I hope that we got copies from, I know we got the Conley students, I hope we got copies. These are excellent ideas. We're already doing 4 of the ideas that they mentioned, which is great, that we're already in alignment with that. And those other ideas that they had, I think they're actually really good ideas that deserve serious consideration. And our students, it could not affect anybody more profoundly than our students and our teachers. And I think opening up those lines of communications, which I know that you meet regularly with students, and I know, of course, you meet very frequently with our administrators who represent our teachers, but that's a wealth of knowledge that we can do nothing but make good decisions with that information from them. So thank you.
And I would just like to add, along with what Caroline has mentioned, that maybe Travis could put out there, because they haven't heard what we are doing, when the appropriate time to put it out for the public to know that we have been working on many of the things that people are bringing to us about. So that would be something to put out, and maybe give us a copy so we can pass it out as we move around the county as well. Would you all not like that? Okay. And speaking of letters, we have gotten 10 letters reference to, I got them Friday, I believe it was, reference to school safety, and any of you like to read these, but it's all in line with what we've been working on. So we have 10 letters that was received throughout Pitt County. And so you all feel free to read these, but they're all on point. And we thank the persons that sent the letters to us. Well, it's a bunch of them, but we will let the board members read them, and then we will continue to act on what they are already stating, which is basically what we've heard this evening and today. Okay? And just like to mention that last week, 3 of us from Pitt County did attend the National School Board Conference in San Antonio, Texas, April the 7th through the 9th. And we have had so much to do since we've been back, but we will give a updated report. And we did bring everybody some information back, so we will have that by the next meeting. So we have something for all of you, okay? And last but not least, we'd just like to mention this Thursday, April 19th through May 5th is early voting, and there are 4 early voting sites: Pitt County Agriculture Center, County Office Building, which is right in the back of this building, the center at Alice King Park, and Winterville Fire Station will be the 3 early voting sites starting, as I mentioned, April 19th through May 5th. And then starting next week, 3 more sites will be added on: the Ayton Community Building, Farmville Community Center, ECU Willis Building. And so just encouraging everybody to get the vote out. We do have Board of Education members that are running. We have people throughout Pitt County. So study your candidates and vote for those people that want to serve you the best. And people have been calling about how to find out who to vote for. Well, they can go online at www.ncsbe.gov and get your individual ballot, and you will see who's on your ballot based on where you live in whatever district it is, and they will have your candidates on there. So you should have at least 3 to 4 different categories to vote for. So please get the vote out on early voting, and if you miss early voting, Election Day is May 8th. And the times for early voting starts at 9 o'clock through 6 o'clock each day, and then on Saturdays, 9 to 1 during the early voting period. And I think that's all I have. And I'm going back to my minutes, yes. Yes.
I'm only teasing.
Okay, do we not have a closed session?
No, Miss Miller, no.
Okay, is there, okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
It's been moved in second that we adjourn this meeting. All in favor, raise your right hand, left hand. Thank you. 8 hours.
Past 10 today.